Hello and welcome everyone to another Fantasy Premier League video. My name is Mo and this is my channel FPL Inklink, and today I'll be going through another draft of FPL. Today it's going to be the Manchester United premium players, but before we get into that, thank you very much if you've come back again, and welcome if this is your first time to FPL Inklink. What I'll be doing, I'll be going through this draft, telling you what my rationale was behind it, why I've chosen this, and what my thought process behind the 15-man squad was. The reason why I've made this video is I was given a request of making a draft of how I could get as many Manchester United premium players into a draft and make my squad around it. So that's why I'm here, and I'm going to be going through the rationale and decisions behind my premium players of United, because just because they're my premium players, they might not be yours, but if you look at the game overall selection of how these guys are the premium players of Manchester United, that's why I have chosen them. But before we get into the squad and the selection itself, let me guys go through the formalities with you. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, help me grow this channel. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to get the latest notification for the content I release, then all you need to do is hit that bell notification icon to get those notifications. So let's begin guys and go through the squad itself. So the three players from Manchester United that I have identified, who I consider the premium players for this season 2020-2021, is firstly Luke Shaw. Now he's a defender, only comes in at a 5.5 price. Now is he actually technically classified as a premium in terms of his price? There is no Manchester United defender that is more than 5.5 mil. So if you look at it from that perspective, I think yes, we can classify him as a premium. And then if I look at it in terms of the other players on the outfield, the goalkeeping position, is it nailed on? Is it De Gea? Is it Henderson? A couple of seasons back, a premium would have been De Gea. But if you looked at it from last season, you know, the competition for the number one goalkeeping spot is there to be taken. So for me, the three players that I have identified is Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, and Bruno Fernandez. And a lot of people will be like, why not Cavani? Why not Martial? Why not Greenwood? Why not Pogba? They're all really crucial questions. And even Lingard, who's back at Manchester United, they're all relevant questions. But the thing is, if I had to generally look at like three nailed-on Manchester United players from last season, Sancho hasn't arrived yet, so may that affect Rashford's positioning. So when I am making this draft at the moment, it is before Sancho has effectively signed for Manchester United. So let's get on with the draft. Let's go through my decisioning and why I've chosen them. So in goalkeeping, obviously Roberto Sanchez. So he's probably one of the highest owned keepers at the moment, or selected by the managers, which is almost $1 million when I'm making this video. 27.3% of managers already have him. So from last season, 101 points, pretty much nailed on to play week in, week out for Brighton. And he got 10 clean sheets, so he's one of the favourites. Got some really nice opening fixtures with Burnley away and Watford at home, followed by Brentford in game week 4 and Crystal Palace in game week 5. That's not to say he can't get any points through the Everton-Leicester game, but overall he's got a good friendly start and he's quite popular amongst the managers that are selecting him. Followed by him is Ben Foster. So Ben Foster is pretty much nailed on as a second choice keeper for most managers at 4 mil. The highest owned 4 million goalkeeper at the moment. And in terms of general play wise, he might not get many minutes, but you know what? It's nice to have him on there, because if he does get a few minutes, then at least you've got a reserve keeper who can get some minutes. Again, fixtures in the first 6 are fairly friendly, barring Tottenham. You know, they've got Aston Villa, it's Brighton, Wolverhampton, Norwich and Newcastle. So it looks pretty friendly. And those are my two goalkeepers for this draft itself. Starting with my defence, I'm going for Wesley Fofana, my 4.5 million defender in this instance. Again, high ownership by managers, 27.3%. He got 71 points last season with 1 assist and 7 clean sheets. Now, I think he'll probably grow upon that. And obviously with additions this season in terms of players to Leicester, I think generally Fofana was really good looking at him as a player last season. From an FPL aspect, there's more to him to give back to the managers obviously, but he's not worth that much. So it's a good player to have in your squad who, you know, is playing for a club like Leicester, pretty much good clean sheets on offer, and he could get the occasional assist as well. And in terms of his fixtures, Wolves at home, followed by West Ham, Norwich. I know there's Man City in game week 4, but then Brighton, Burnley, Crystal Palace, they seem pretty friendly, and Brentford. In the first 9 game weeks, for me, only 2 or 3 difficult games on paper. I think that's a good start for them, and for a player for 4.5 mil who's probably going to play most minutes, that is a very good choice to choose. Next is going to be the highest scoring defender, barring obviously Robertson and Trent from last season, was Aaron Cresswell. He got 153 points. He's owned by 20% of managers already, so he's got quite a bit of faith from managers from his form last season. Only priced at 5.5 mil, got 153 points, and he got 11 assists last season, which was quite incredible, along with 11 clean sheets. He's got a pretty decent start to the season with Newcastle away, followed by Leicester, Crystal Palace and Manchester United. After the Man United game, they got Leeds, Brentford, Everton and Tottenham and Villa. So they're pretty decent fixtures, to be fair. I mean, in terms of clean sheets, probably the first half of the fixtures, and in terms of goal returns, that's pretty much in every game. He's on set pieces, free kicks, corners. So it'll be worth seeing what he can return back. So that's why I've picked Cresswell. Dini are pretty much the same reasons of why I've selected him. Barring the fixtures, of course, he's on set pieces, nailed on for like corners, free kicks, pretty much makes the runs down the left, likes to play a high line, or they play a back five with him playing as a wing back. It'd be interesting to see, and even if it's not back five, even if it's back four, he still likes to get forward on a regular basis. 23.3% ownership of managers so far. Again, one of the top defenders ownership so far. 120 points last season, 5.5 mil in price. He got 9 assists last season. Defensively, clean sheets only 9, so it wasn't Everton's best season, but again, he's always that threat going forward. And if we look at their fixtures, I think they've probably got one of the best 10 fixtures out of any teams in the Premier League at the start of the campaign, starting with Southampton, Leeds, Brighton, Burnley, Villa, Norwich. Manchester United away will be a tough game, followed by West Ham, Watford, Wolves. So they're playing pretty much squads who I believe that they can get clean sheets and potentially definitely an offensive attacking prospect. I think he can get a few clean assists as well, and you can never say he might not be shy of a goal because he's due one if you look at it from statistically point of view. So that's why I've chosen Digne in my squad for this one. And one of the 3 premium Manchester United players I've chosen, as I mentioned, was Luke Shaw. Almost 40% of managers are owning him at the moment. A really, really fair price of 5.5 mil. I am extremely, extremely surprised they did not price him at 6 mil this season. I even thought maybe 6.5. But hey, they've been generous to us, and this is why so many not only managers at the moment, but I think managers, as the game gets more managers in, will select Luke Shaw. He's had a brilliant Euros. He's had a brilliant last season, and he can only get better. Played 2,653 minutes last season, 124 points. On average, he was averaging around 4.2 points per game. 1 goal, 5 assists with 10 clean sheets. Fixtures-wise, again, they look pretty generous for the first 5 or 6 games. Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, Newcastle, West Ham, Aston Villa. So I think they look pretty friendly, but obviously from game week 7 onwards, there will be difficult fixtures for Manchester United. So that's why I've chosen Luke Shaw. He's going to be on around set pieces, does take free kicks and corners, pretty much down the left-hand side. It will get in those crosses for the potential assists. So he's one of my 3 premium Manchester United players for this premium Manchester United draft. I've also got Mo Salah in. 50% of managers are owning him, 12.5 mil. Can't really ignore him. Third highest point scorer last season after Kane and Bruno. Got 22 goals and 6 assists. Pretty much plays almost every minute for Liverpool, barring an injury or just general rest for a couple of games back to back. But he has a phenomenal start to the season in terms of fixtures. So he plays all the 3 promoted teams that have come up from the Championship last season within the first 8 game weeks. So it's a really good chance for him to get started and really drive and push on. So he's going to be not only in people's teams, but managers are certainly going to pick him for captaincy option. Is it worth to go against the norm? That's the risk that you're probably going to take. I probably may not, but in this draft, I've managed to get Salah in for that very reason. My second midfielder is Rashford, so he's my second premium from Manchester United. So he's owned by 6% of managers, £9.5 million in price, 174 points last season. Now he got 11 goals, 11 assists. Not as many goals as the season before, but in terms of general, he is going to be week in, week out with Jadon Sancho coming in now. it's going to be worthwhile seeing how United play. Will it be Greenwood who misses out, Rashford, Martial, Cavani? Who's it going to be? It's going to be interesting to see how the lineup's going to be richest of talent, or are they just going to play the pep roulette where Ollie's just going to keep rotating? It'll be worthwhile seeing that, see what minutes who gets. But in this draft, Rashford is still there. He's not challenged for a spot, so I am choosing him as a premium. Generally, he's been a quite solid asset last season, or many seasons for Manchester United, and he was averaging around 5.37 points per game last season as well, which is really decent. And he's only 9.5 mil, which comes at a fairly fair price for me. Gone through the fixtures already. I think he's got a really good chance of bagging a few goals or assists, and obviously taking away those points that he'll get for a clean sheet, which is 1 point for a midfielder as well. The next player I've got is Jack Grealish. So Mr. Jack Grealish, who I believe is one of the best players in the Premier League itself. High ownership again, 37%, 8 mil. I've managed to get him into this draft, which is pretty interesting for me. Obviously, with the four midfielders, I think they're pretty strong. 6 goals, 12 assists last season with 135 points. He was injured for most of the season, but when he did play at the start and near the end, he pretty much ran the show for Aston Villa. In terms of fixtures, 3 very good fixtures for the first 3 games: Watford, Newcastle, Brentford, and then it's followed by a few cherry reds, or reds they call it, where they've got Chelsea, Everton, Manchester United and Tottenham. So Grealish never really counts him out. He's a playmaker. Aston Villa usually play through him, so it'd be worthwhile seeing how he can replicate that form. Even in the Euros, he hasn't looked fully recovered. He has been that super sub for England, but will he stay at Aston Villa next season? Will he go to Manchester City? It's yet to be seen. But either way, even if he's at Manchester City or Aston Villa, he's a great asset nonetheless. Last but not least is my third premium in this Manchester United premium draft from Manchester United. It's Bruno Fernandez. Highest point scorer last season, priced at 12 million this season in the game. He's gone up from 10.5 from last season to 12 mil. Is that a fair increase in price? I think so. It is a fair price increase, considering he did so well last season. 40.6% of managers, as I mentioned, 244 points. He averaged basically last season in terms of point-wise. For Manchester United, he was earning around 7.08 points per match. So that's really good in terms of a return. 18 goals, 14 assists. We've gone through their fixtures already. I assume he'll have a very good opportunity for a few goals, especially penalties, as he's a set-piece taker. He'll take free kicks, corners, penalties, you name it, he's there. So he's kind of like generally the playmaker of Manchester United. And when he does go big, he does go big. Now, I know a lot of people said that the last 8 to 9 games of the season he didn't play really well. I personally think it was just fatigue, back-to-back games. Yes, he didn't have a great Euros, but you can't write this guy off. He's had a real good start to the Premier League season. The 18 months he has played, I think he's been the highest contributor in terms of goals and assists, in terms of since he's been playing, and points-wise as well, for FPL-wise. So let's consider him. He's part of my draft for Manchester Premium players from the United side of Manchester, and that's why he's in my squad. Up front, I've chosen obviously CalvertLewin from Everton. DCL had a fantastic first start of the season last season. His fixtures, we've gone from already for Digne, pretty much the best fixtures that anyone could get in terms of team-wise. So that's why in terms of goal threat, he's going to be that threat for me up front. 28% of managers, that's why they agree with me and they've chosen them to have him in their drafts. 8 million price, which I think is extremely fair. Gone up from last year from 7.5, which was kind of expected. 165 points in total, so you've got 16 goals, 6 assists, and if you look at his general points per game, it was 5.17, and he pretty much played week in, week out. That's why he's quite a favourite within managers, and he's a favourite within me, and that's why I've tried to get him into this draft, which I have been able to. So that's a big plus. That's why if you're looking for a Manchester United premium draft, then he can be slotted in within there. And the second striker I've got is obviously Mr. Ollie Watkins for Aston Villa. 33.5% of managers own him. He hasn't played any part in the Euros, so he's pretty much going to be fresh coming to the new season. He's nailed on to play every single minute. He's a first choice striker for Aston Villa. Barring that one game where he was suspended last season, he played pretty much every minute. And he got 168 points with 14 goals and 9 assists. And coming in at 7.5 mil, I think that's a fair price for him in this season's strikers' prices as well. And in terms of fixtures, again, we've mentioned it for Grealish. First 3 games, I think there's a good chance of him getting some returns. And yes, from game week 4 onwards, he does have a few difficult fixtures. But if you look at the first 13 games, he's got quite a few greens. So he's got a really good chance to make a real good start. And just because they're difficult teams does not mean he can't score. On the break, Aston Villa with Grealish, Buendia. You've got other Traore, these kind of players, El Ghazi coming into the team. So there'll be a really good chance for him to stamp his authority and get off to a good start. And on the bench, I've got Davis from Aston Villa, Mancuso from Newcastle, and Bissouma from Brighton. So that is my draft, guys, for the Manchester United Premium draft. So that was requested by you guys over my social media to make a draft for how we can get 3 Manchester United premiums in. And these are the 3 premiums I've selected, and I've made a draft around it. I think that's a fairly strong squad, quite a good balance over the squad generally. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like this draft? Do you think that the players I've chosen make it a fair and nice balanced team to go ahead with the season to start off with? Let me know what your thoughts are. If you've liked this video, give me a nice little thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up like button. If you also want to be getting the latest notifications, hit that notifications bell icon. And if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, this is your chance to subscribe to FPL Inklink. If you haven't joined the league yet, pop that league code in at the bottom left and join the FPL Inklink League, and let's have a great season. The social media is right at the bottom, so if you guys want to contact me, let me know, and you can also just leave a message on this video and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you everyone for so much love and all the nice and beautiful comments that you guys have passed through to me. It is an absolute pleasure. Thank you for watching once again. Stay tuned for more FPL content.